Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel. So now, guys, a lot of speculation around the Tinubu journey in the Nigerian presidential race. So a lot of speculations are more speculations and really more so concerns. So a lot of concerns around Tinubu's journey within the Nigerian presidential race that is ongoing at the moment. And a lot of that speculation and concern around Tinubu is circled around his state of well-being. So a lot of concern about his physical health and his mental well-being. So now when I say mental well-being, I'm not suggesting that people are speculating that Tinubu is about to run mad anytime soon. No. But a lot of people are speculative. A lot of people rather are speculating that is he in some sort of cognitive decline. So is he cognitively declining? That is to say that is his mind slowing down for reasons of age. So a lot of speculation around that, and a lot of those speculations are birthed around his public pronouncements and his public gaffes anytime he speaks in public or mounts a rostrum in a public space. So those speculations around his cognitive state of well-being, they all started really from this point. So watch this.
Youths into the army and take away from their recruitment source. What they will eat? Cassava, agbado, corn in the morning, yam in the afternoon. It's growing here. You create demand and consumption.
All right, so that's now the infamous Agbado speech. You feed the troops some protein-based, not protein, of course, carbohydrate with elements of protein as well. Nutritionists will tell you that corn, Agbado has protein and carbohydrates. But really, he was telling a narrative of the sort of diets that can affordably be fed to a mass recruitment of security personnel. So, of course, Tinubu's speech pattern somewhat slurred, very heavy labored, and you really have to labor to understand what he's saying. So, a lot of people they took that, of course, and then they couldn't really understand the lack of coherence in what they were hearing, and of course, the skits around Agbado it was birthed from that spot. So that's the skit around Agbado. But before we go back in time to listen to Tinubu, let's see now a collage of all of these so-called gaffes that have led people to speculate then if Tinubu is in some sort of cognitive decline. So let's listen to a collage of gaffes being made by Tinubu, and then we'll take it from there. Watch this.
Recruit 50 million youths into the army and take away from their recruitment source. What they will eat? Cassava, agbado, corn, and in the morning, yam in the afternoon. It's growing here. Take one family member, two family members, knock on all doors, and make sure that new registration, because they may not announce to you on time, the BBC you have has expired. I know intimidation. Our styles many times before their day. No intimidation, no blackmail, no any sort of insult that will get me angry to the extent that I will say no more, I don't want it. No. I've read somewhere in a Greek philosopher who said if you want to wrestle with pig, be ready to get it. And then with the poop, I am ready to get it. Your, your children's West Africa examination fee is paid by us. So that no one, no matter how poor, is left behind.
Oh, all right. So that was somewhat of a montage of errors and gaffes by Tinubu. So so that was a montage of errors and gaffes by Tinubu. But a lot of people will argue that those are curated moments in time. So they put in where he stumbled, Mr. Step. I have stumbled several times, missteps. I have even tripped over and fallen on countless occasions, as I'm sure you have. So they've cited several instances of him making gaffes and speaking out of sequence with the logic that he's trying to present. And all of that, they've pulled all of that together to land it on some sort of a cognitive decline. So that's the narrative. But the counter narrative to that is that a lot of people would argue that, look, these are isolated moments in time that have been put together to present a montage. And that montage, of course, is to sell a certain picture. The counter narrative that a lot of people present is one of his co-contestants, actually, Peter Obi of the Labour Party, who is equally, maybe even more so, error-prone in speech, and who a lot of people have derisorily described as talking gibberish in most instances. Countless examples of equal measure of Peter Obi speaking out of tune or using words out of context, or even in instances talking gibberish, but no attention is drawn to that. But really, the focus of the video really is Tinubu, and the question then if it's in some sort of cognitive decline or not. So if we are able to establish that he is or not in cognitive decline, then we have to go back in time to see how he has always presented, and then to try and mirror that against how he presents now. So now let's not do that exactly right now and go back now in time to go to moments when Tinubu was the governor of Lagos State, and then we'll see then how he presents as the governor of Lagos State to see if there's any disparity between the Tinubu when he was in his full pomp as the governor of Lagos State and the Tinubu that we see now. So let's watch this together.
Happy to be here.
Just to pause it for a moment, there is no significant deviation in the tone and texture of the voice. So that's just the one thing that I want you to focus attention on. The tone and texture of his voice now and when he was in his full pomp. You can see the date in the background from the banner at the back. This is 1999 when he was making this speech. So there is no significant difference in the tone and texture of his voice now and as far back as 1999. So tone and texture, no real significant difference, but the coherence of what he has to say. Let's listen now for that. Back to it.
That is known as the center of excellence is experiencing the most unexpected behavior as a leader looking seated in the house. Whether this is
All right. So if you understood what he said there, you can leave it in the comment section because and I'll scroll it back just a little bit so you have a listen again. I have no concept of what he said there. That sounded like Bula Balu. But let's listen. Bula Balu going back to 1999.
unexpected behavior as a leader looking seated in the house. Whether
So what did he say? Blah, 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 in the house. So let's listen one more time. I'm only laboring this point really to emphasize the fact that this guy is gaffe prone, always has been. Tinubu has at any moment in time never been an orator. He has never been a public speaker. But let's just capture that one more time and then we continue to listen.
was written online, I will not know. But my responsibility this morning is to come to the house and leave the rights to the chief judge and the clerk of the house. Concerned to the power vested in me by the virtue of subsection 3 of section 105 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria of 1999. I, Bola Tinubu, Governor of Lagos State, do hereby proclaim that the first section of the Lagos State House of Assembly shall hold today, second reading giving under my hand and the policy of the Lagos State government as a Kenya Tinubu, President of May 1999. I proclaim the House convened. What I want to, before I take my exit, I wish you all the elected members represent. Good luck in your job. There's a clear separation of power, and I want you to exercise that power to the fullest. A copy of the Constitution will be distributed to you. I will read the address to you, giving you condition. You are the government.
Oh, okay. Let me pause there let me pause it there for a moment. So there is evidentially a distinctive a greater lucidity in 1999, a distinctive greater lucidity, but a marginal a marginal better lucidity in 1999. His speech as now then still slurred, his words as now then still very labored to listen to, but if you pay a special attention, you are able to decipher somewhat some coherence in what it has, well, a better coherence, because you can still decipher somewhat of a coherence in its pronouncement still now, but more so you could decipher a marginal coherence there. This is just up to this point. So what are the reasons for that then is the next question. Yeah, the first and obvious reason to go to is that he was younger, he was in a better state of health, and it was so those are the two obvious spaces to go to. Another space to go to is that he's speaking in a moment of victory. So he's now speaking now as the governor of Lagos State, having fought and won an election, now rested in his mind that he has that victory to hold on to for another 4 years. So a more settled space mentally is where he's making this statement from. So that is also that is not to be dismissed, by the way, because of course now it's in the throes of an election which he has a good chance of winning. As he said, infamously or famously in the BBC interaction, plenty of arrows being thrown in his direction. So he's under immense and intense pressure at this moment in time. So this moment in time being right now that we're having this conversation. But if you throw back to 1999, when he was making this speech that is making to us now, he had already been through that battle and emerged victorious. So a more settled space of mind is perhaps an attribution to a more coherent speech pattern. So that is an argument, but then of course the counter argument is to say that this is just indicative of a cognitive decline. But let's continue to listen. Let's just listen to it to the end. It's just about 7 minutes, so it's not really that labored. I'll only really pause it if anything jumps out. So let's listen some more.
When I was working, the statement made by the outgoing military administrator, former military administrator of the state, is good that he was given 2 billion in the coffers, including the equipment to do 1.5 billion. I am just told the preliminary review and the examination of account record to the Accountant General of the Program and Budget Bureau. And without fact, that the actual account of Lagos State, which I inherited, is 131 million deficit as of 28th of May, when that statement was made. In addition, the initial variable cost of paid debt owed to contractors amount to 965 million. The breakdown of the deficit of 112 million is as
Okay, I'm just going to skip forward a little bit, not to make this video too long, but I will skip forward just a little bit. Just to so we'll skip forward just a little bit. Oh, okay. I'm skipping forward really because there are two things happening now that we're watching. So we're reading one, Tinubu reading a speech. No, we're not reading. We're listening to one, Tinubu reading a speech, and then secondly, he trying to free flow of what he's reading. So reading something is different. We are just uttering the words that you can see on a paper. So that's easily done for anybody that is literate enough to read. So that's easily done. He can see the words and then pronounce them. So that doesn't really leave too much room for gaps and errors and faux pas. But then if it comes off the script to free flow, are we able to identify errors in speech patterns? So that's another thing I want you to listen out for as we continue to listen.
710 million unpaid May salaries and overhead. The civil servants of the state are yet to receive their May salary and the overhead for that money. That is 719 million. 559 million represent checks issued a weekly payment. That total 2.2 billion. Cash as of 28. deficit is 131. Therefore, if we add 965 million of new debt with the 175 billion deficit, the net position will be a total deficit of approximately 1 billion. It is therefore become necessary to carry out a more comprehensive study of the financial position of our state, the result of which we will make public to the Therefore, I appeal to you,
Apologies, by the way, they were. Apologies, by the way, they were as much Agbero in Lagos State in 1999 as they are still till today. But let's listen a bit more. We listen for about another minute, and then I want to show you something else. So, as I highlighted and I drew your attention to, pay a special attention to the fact that he is reading from a script. So, pay attention to that.
commitment to the state and attempt to mislead you in the financial position will be corrected. I wish you good luck on this day. It is unfortunate. There is some demonstration of your happiness on part of some, but it is not my own to intervene in affairs. My responsibility remains according to the Constitution to condemn you. I wish you good luck. I wish you the best of the year.
All right. So yes. So there is no equivocation. There was more lucidity there than we're now used to. So there was more lucidity there. That was 1999. You saw the banner in the backdrop, so you know when that clip you know when and where that clip came from. So there was more lucidity there. But what are we attributing that to? The first and obvious go-to space, as I said, is cognitive decline. So the first and obvious go, and by the way, 1999, what that's what 30 years ago thereabout. So of course you would expect some regression, some slowing down in any human being. If you're old enough to have lived a 30-year period, then you would know that the experiences differs as you continue to age in time. But is that cognitive decline? Is that sign of age? Tinubu, of course, 70 years old. We all know his age, irrespective of whatever the hoopla is around all of these made-up controversies. We all know his age. And you saw them there, by the way. That was 1999 when he looked like a 45-year-old guy. So there's no equivocation that he is the age that he claims. Maybe his lifestyle or his genetics has led to him presenting now, and is frail. Is a frail looking, slender sort of a fellow anyway, who don't traditionally age in the manner of anyway. I don't want to get into the controversy around his age too much, because that's, to me, is a bit of a misnomer, a red herring. But so we're focusing really on if there is a noticeable significant cognitive decline or not. So I'm saying all this only to present you with this. So I highlighted then that Tinubu was reading copiously from a script in that example from 1999. So now let's now fast forward to this month, and let's listen then to Tinubu read from a script yet again, and let's compare and contrast 1999 to this month, December 2022. So watch and listen. Tinubu, just a couple of minutes from the Chatham House space, especially the phase when he's reading out his speech. So let's watch and listen.
First stop. I understand that you have very much a valid US.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen.
So with no more.
Thank you, Alex. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Your Excellencies, my governors from Lagos State.
All right, let me just pause it there for a moment. So when we started off the speech in Lagos in 1999, what I first drew your attention to was the tone and texture of his voice. So the tone and texture of that voice from 1999, it remains consistent. It's deeper now, more throaty, but nevertheless consistent. The tone and texture of the voice remains consistent. But let's continue to listen.
From Nigeria. I thank you for calling. You are not strangers to me. There are some strangers to this democracy. I would like to begin by expressing my delight at being here once again to share my thoughts with this distinguished audience. The last time I was here in 2011, it was to share my view on the nascent formation of a Nigerian mega opposition party, the All Progressive Congress, APC. The party went on to win an historic victory against the ruling PDP in February 2015. It has been in office for almost 8 years.
All right. There is no noticeable evidence that he is reading from a script, but a lot of people speculate that he has a teleprompter rather than a sheet to read from. So there are no indications that he is reading from a teleprompter. If you look at the head movement, that is not indicative of anybody reading from anything, because of course, if you are reading from a teleprompter, then your eyes and posture will be focused in a certain direction. So no real indication that he's reading from a teleprompter, but let's listen to a couple more minutes just to really get a flavor of how he is now, to contrast it with 1999, and then we make our closing summations.
Over the years, Chatham House has carved a niche for itself and built a reputation as a globally admired, respected platform for intellectual engagement on different issues of contemporary interest to people around the world. Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is time again for Nigeria to go to the polls to elect the next set of leaders. The national election, which will take place in the first quarter of 2023, can be considered as especially significant in Nigeria's quest for democratic consolidation. The 2023 election will be taking place on the back of almost 25 years of unbroken civilian rule. That's a record. It is a record for the country.
All right. You've all seen and heard that speech, so no need to labor you through all of it. It goes on for another 20 minutes, half an hour. But and by the way, you can go back and listen. I can just pop a link to it in the comment section if you do want to go back and listen. But I could not discern any significant deviation from his presentation in 1999 and his presentation now, either speaking a rehearsed speech or reading from a teleprompter. In 1999, clearly reading from a speech, it was lucid, it was coherent, and there was a logical flow and a tone and texture to the recitation. So all of that was present, but there is no significant, I can conclude, and I invite you to make your own conclusions as well. And then come share them with me in the comment section. But there's no significant deviation from his speech pattern in 1999, walking all the way through till now. Tinubu is error prone. Yeah, he is. He's error prone. He makes a lot of gaffes. He does. He has always been like that. And Tinubu He speaks with a certain staccato. There's a staccato to his voice when he just lands and then lands and then lands. So he has a unique and peculiar way of utterances. He has a unique and peculiar way of public speaking. Unique and peculiar to him all the way through from 1999 all the way through till now. So is there some sort of declination in that speech pattern that is indicative of a cranial cognitive decline? That is the question. So that is the question. And we have tracked his trajectory now all the way from 1999 till date. So I am not going to form any conclusions, only to present you with the information and evidence and invite you to conclude for yourself. So form your conclusions and come share them with me in the comment section. So I'll leave it here. Carry the conversation on with you in the comment section, but here I say peace.